Hey, coming up right now, see why Human Resources is addressing a new, not-so-professional email gone wrong.
Also coming up, a newly minted heiress wants to give away her fortune, and her reasoning might surprise you.
A little bit later on, one man just might hold the key to an accessory that every woman just seems to want.
Mitch English. Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
Hi, I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. We got a great show here. It's never too late to start over, no matter what career you're in. We're going to talk to somebody who did just that a little bit later on, and our boss lady.
She is our boss lady,
Yes.
too. Yeah, we're excited about that. And, of course, Matt Doolittle joining us.
Matt had a big night. I'm surprised that Matt's still here. Matty, what happened? Bud?
Late night, but last night the Orlando Magic retired Shaquille O'Neal's jersey, number 32, and they gave out these nice little jerseys on the way out, which was pretty awesome.
You got a new jersey? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
to add to the collection of 5 or 6 I already have, but all the old Magic guys from the 90s were there, which was like just nostalgia for me, because that's when I grew up and the Magic were
You're
blowing
not
up
going
in
to find
town.
a bigger Magic fan.
So
No, very true.
I was crying a little, but it was great. Shaq did it. They did it great, and Shaq had a great speech, and it was awesome.
This is a big month
congrats
for
to
you,
Shaq.
Matt.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
happening.
Number 32. I watched him do a pre-show interview on TNT, and he was saying he really wanted number 33, but it was already taken. And the guy on the Magic who had the number said, "I'll give you the number for $150,000." And he goes, "I didn't have that kind of money,
Back
so I
then?
just settled with 32." Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Never knew
But he
that.
blew $1 million in his first week here, so he bought 2 Mercedes and a house.
Yeah. And then he said he spent like 160 grand on a hotel at the Hilton at the airport because he didn't really know what to do. Isn't that great? So are you a fan of the Pop-Tart?
I love Pop-Tarts. I had to move away from the traditional Pop-Tart to have acai, all organic Pop-Tarts. But so it was
doesn't
very
that
close.
sound delicious?
But I love me a Pop-Tart.
The guy who invented the Pop-Tart has recently passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. His last name is Post. So William Post passed away, and he was the guy responsible for inventing the Pop-Tart. Here's what's interesting. Jerry Seinfeld has got a movie coming out. Jerry's going to play Post in the movie, and it'll come out in May on Netflix.
And Melissa McCarthy's in it too, and some other big names.
Oh.
He went and got some big names. You know,
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld doesn't act that often.
No.
And doesn't do movies. He did B-Movie, which
Yeah.
was his last movie. And but yeah, he's got a lot of his friends wanted to be involved
Yeah.
with this project. So that very interesting.
Yeah. My
Timely, unfortunately, that
I
the
know,
guy died.
but he was in his 90s, so God bless him, lived a good life.
I wonder how they're going to bury him. Is he? How do you like your Pop-Tarts? Hot or just right
Cold.
out the
Cold.
same way.
Regular.
What do you, Maddie?
My breakfast every morning in high school was an unfrosted strawberry Pop-Tart. Every morning.
Breakfast of Champions.
Yes. Cold on the way to school.
That's why he's so active today. There you go. Hey, a woman named Samantha recently went viral for sharing how her name has drawn negative attention in professional workplaces. And clearly your parents didn't think about an email address issue when she was born back in the 90s. Take a look at this.
My name is Samantha Hart, and most companies use the email designation of first initial last name, meaning that my email would be Shart. And I've had 2 professional jobs so far, and at every single workplace, this has been the email company structure. And at every single workplace, I have received an email from HR the week before I start, letting me know that my name does not exactly fit the company email structure as they would intend. And would I mind if they gave me a different structure for my email? To which I always say, yeah, I don't want an email that says Shart.
All right, now Samantha says that she's actually had 2 professional jobs so far, and they both had the same email structure, leading HR to reach out to her on both occasions. Thoughts on this? Because email addresses are pretty important.
So S and her last name's Hart, so it creates an interesting first name on her email address.
Yes, I
you
get
can
it.
understand the challenges involved.
I would totally anticipate that. There's they've told me if in doubt, don't say it. So
Yeah.
anyway,
No,
so
no.
I'm not gonna.
I know where you're going now.
There's a
Sometimes
website.
you think it's going to be one thing, and then it's something else.
So anyway,
Yeah.
in my mind, I wanted to tell you the story about websites. about PennIsland.com.
Oh,
so you
yes.
check that out.
Yeah, well, there's a whole list of them,
Yeah, there
really.
is.
There's another one too.
So, but I think, hey, look, we're trying to portray a professional message, and this could be a little distracting. So I can understand
True.
the company.
Yeah, it is true. Very true. Well, an Austrian heiress is giving away her $27 million fortune, and she wants the public to decide where it goes. 31-year-old Marlene Engelhorn inherited the fortune from her grandmother. However, she doesn't want it and is setting up plans to give it away by placing it in the hands of the Good Counsel for redistribution. 10,000 people in Austria were randomly selected and sent invitations to apply for membership. A research institute will narrow down the applicants to 50. Engelhorn says she inherited the fortune without having done anything for it, and the state doesn't even want to tax it. Well, she wants to extend the generosity to those working full-time jobs and struggling to make ends meet.
Okay, because I'm thinking this is crazy, but hey, it says a lot about her, because first I'm like, why would you want, this could really help you.
Yeah.
What is the deal about
Right.
it? I mean, so maybe they think differently. I thought for sure it was because of tax reasons, and then you had mentioned that it hasn't really to do with that at all.
I'm guessing she'll probably save enough for herself to be comfortable for the rest of her life and then give the rest away. And then I think, obviously if you're giving stuff away, there's tax benefit to that. But if you're not getting taxed on it to begin with, then
What would be the issue
Yeah.
about it? I always think these billionaires, they'll lose $1 million and it means absolutely nothing to them.
Yeah.
But the state, your mental wellness, a lot of times, a lot of people are based off of how your finances are. Even if, you're in debt, student debt, it might be one thing. And then once you have it paid off and you feel like you're financially secure, everything else in your life, mentally, I think, goes a little bit better, right?
Yeah, and I think you've got to have the confidence to know how to handle money and big sums of money. And
That's
if
a good
you
point.
don't have the confidence, it's easy to watch it all slip away. So I think understanding and her desire to say, look, I didn't earn this. I came into it,
commend
which
her.
is great. And maybe the person who earned it already paid taxes on it. So that's why she doesn't have to pay tax on it.
Okay.
But, one way or the other, maybe this is her way of working for it.
She's going to get paid in karma, good
Yeah,
karma, right?
she will.
That's kind of cool.
For sure. Well, if you were looking for the one, a Birkin that is, Michael Mack is your guy. The Las Vegas luxury reseller is the proud steward of a fleet of Hermes, Birkin, and Kelly handbags, 120 to be exact. The lavish collection is one of the largest in the world, valued at well over $1 million. Prices for these handbags usually start at around $8,000 to $10,000 and can easily exceed six figures. Getting a brand new Birkin bag is no easy feat. They usually involve a pre-order and a wait list. This nearly impossible purchase makes the Birkin bag one of the most coveted handbags in the world. And
Now-
they can go up to $1 million, $2 million, depending on what they're made out of.
I was talking actually to Doolittle when we went out to Vegas. I could see now why women have purses because we have to carry all kinds of stuff around, and then I need chapstick or I need it makes a whole lot of sense. So we went. And he's got this.
I
Really
got
cool
that
with the
satchel.
bullet. What's it called?
It's just like a satchel deal, but it's got like a lock on the back and all these little compartments, and it's not a full backpack, and it really saves my back.
Yeah, and and it's amazing what all you can put inside these things. So I get it. Now, I'm not paying that kind of money for a purse.
No.
And why? And one style is fine for me. Why do women need all of these different? Is it just so that goes with the outfit? I guess. Right?
Yes and no. I think it's kind of fun to change things out. I mean, I will say this: I don't know if there's any world I would live in that I could justify spending $20,000 on a handbag. I mean, I'm sorry, but
I
if I had that kind of crazy money, I'm not sure I would spend that much money.
Okay, I would let you. Let's say if we were together, I would let you get the $20,000 purse if somehow that you could have where no germs would stick to the bottom of the
the
purse,
handbag.
the handbag, because people forget about that. No matter how much it costs, you put it on the floor in the bathroom,
Yeah,
it's still gonna have. And then you put it on your kitchen table.
Yeah, it's bad luck to put your handbag on the ground at any
really?
particular moment. Yeah, you
That's what
shouldn't
those hooks
ever.
are in the bathroom. Oh, I didn't know
That's why you should never.
What do you
put your
think they were
handbag-
for?
Joking, Maddie. What about backpacks? Is it bad luck?
Yeah, you shouldn't put your
Same-
backpack on it.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
is it bad luck?
Yeah.
It is. I didn't know that.
Any kind of bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. All right, Beverly Hills plastic surgeon claims that he has the key ingredient for slowing down the natural aging process. Check this out.
The sauna slows down the aging process of the skin. It improves collagen and elastin production. It detoxifies the skin through the sweating process. Never mind that it's good for your heart and your lungs. It improves the circulation of blood flow to your skin. It releases little proteins that protect your DNA and your cells from aging by the shock of the heat. You only need 15 to 20 minutes, and every day that you do this, it is an anti-aging practice.
According to that doc, he says that weightlifting is actually a great anti-aging tool, and I think using your brain has a lot to do with it too, like Sudoku and that sort of thing, because it keeps you when you're not using your brain, just sitting around and everything, you're not exercising. So if you're doing
if you don't move it, you lose it, and that's your brain and your body.
we're not going to lose you. We're going to be right back. Matter of fact, right after this, you're watching Daily Flash.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Leaders from historically black colleges and universities are heading to Washington, D.C. Their meeting could change how these institutes of higher learning are seen on Capitol Hill. Joining us to talk about it is David K. Shepard. He's the Chief Business and Legal Officer for Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Welcome, David. How are you?
Andrea, I am great. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Well, thanks for joining us. This is a very important topic. What is the HBCU Fly in all about?
Well, Andrea, this is the premier event for our presidents and chancellors representing our nation's HBCUs, historically black colleges, universities, and predominantly black institutions, to come to DC annually to meet with members of Congress and agency administrators, representatives of the Biden administration, to talk about issues of law and policy impacting our institutions and the students that attend them. And so this is the 8th year that the Thurgood Marshall College Fund will be hosting the HBCU Fly-In, and doing so for the second time in partnership with the Business Roundtable.
How did Senator Tim Scott get involved, and what is his role in all of this year?
So Senator Tim Scott is one of 4 co-chairs of the bipartisan bicameral HBCU caucus. And when the HBCU Fly-In was originally conceived, he was one of our original sponsoring members of Congress who participated in the Fly-In. So he has been doing it in partnership with us for each of these 8 years. And that's the kind of access that this opportunity provides to the community that we represent, the opportunity for them to engage and have an impact on the decisions that members of Congress are making on Capitol Hill.
And David, how important are these conversations now that diversity, equity, and inclusion policies in education and even in corporate America are right now under the microscope?
It's particularly important. The partnership that we have with the Business Roundtable is particularly significant because that's an organization that represents the CEOs of over 200 of America's leading companies. And it's important that they have the opportunity to dialogue with our presidents and chancellors about the challenges and the opportunities that they are facing, and figuring out how to partner together to provide the students that our schools educate with employment opportunities in corporate America upon graduation. That's a role that PMCF has in providing professional development opportunities in partnership with the Business Roundtable and their member companies. And it's something that our presidents and chancellors obviously have a vested interest in.
Yeah, opportunity, you said it there, and inspiration. Those are 2 key factors. What do you want members of Congress to understand about the current state of HBCUs?
Well, I think the most important thing in this environment is the needs that our institutions have around infrastructure. Unfortunately, since the inception of our institutions, they've been historically underfunded. And after the most recent academic year, enrollment at public HBCUs was up over 44% over the prior academic year. And that was prior to the Supreme Court's decision in the Harvard and UNC cases, which is going to markedly increase applications for enrollment. But the problem is we lack the resources to have the infrastructure to take on all of the additional student interests in attending our institutions. So there's a premium on having additional federal support to build that infrastructure, whether it's residential halls, academic spaces, research spaces, to both house and educate those students.
And one last question for you. What are some of the hot button topics you want discussed during these meetings? Obviously, infrastructure and opportunity are 2 big hot button issues.
Yeah, another one of our policy priorities and things that we are focused on is research and development opportunities, particularly both with the federal government and with corporate America. So our institutions have the opportunity to grow their research and development portfolios, which lends itself to building intellectual property, which is another potential source of revenue for our institutions. And then basic needs around Title III funding, doubling the Pell Grant funding, which is critical to most of the students that attend our institutions. And as I mentioned ago, institutional infrastructure dollars.
David, great information. Good luck with everything in Washington, D.C. with regard to the HBCUs, the topics and the funding. For more information on the HBCU fly-in, go to tmcf.org.
Thanks so much there, Andrea. And then there's this. All right, now I might be showing a little something graphic here, so just be careful here. Some people might freak out. Who knows?
Okay.
A U.S. Customs and Border Protection dog did its job when it started going crazy while sniffing luggage from a traveler returning from the Democratic Republic of Congo at Boston's Logan Airport.
Oh, no.
Now, the traveler told agents that the luggage contained dried fish, but when they opened it up,
Oh, no.
they found a big old bag of dead and dehydrated bodies of 4 different monkeys. These are monkeys you're looking at. The dude said he brought the monkeys into the United States for his own consumption. Raw meat from wild animals, sometimes referred to as bush meat, is banned in the U.S. because of the threat of the disease. Imagine that.
Oh,
It's actually all went down last month, but was just made public. No charges were filed, but all of that luggage was seized, and then nearly 9 pounds of the bush meat were marked for destruction by the CDC. The CDC actually get involved. Now, I think Matt Doolittle will put bush meat in the microwave when he comes in, and it's the nastiest smell.
Different bush meat.
It's a different bush meat. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Here's the thing. How, I know we get people coming from different countries and that sort of thing,
Yes.
but common sense, we can get off these if we don't.
Yeah, please.
I know people want to see. This is the uglier monkey that they want to see. Is that how, you think, like, when does common sense come into a play?
Oh, Mitch, come on now, common sense, really?
At the airport, I love, like, at airports, they have to have kiosks to tell people what exactly you can and can't take on. And there's always, at the Dayton airport, they used to have that display, and it had a gallon of gasoline in it. And I'm like, how expensive is gas wherever you're flying? That you got to get it in Dayton, Ohio, and put it on an airplane, a whole gallon.
They always tell you, though, before you land, especially on international flights, look, this is what you can and cannot bring into the country. And they give you that information in a million different languages.
No one will ever know. No one pays attention. More Flash coming up after this.
In this week's Boss Lady, she is an award-winning journalist, an author, and an overall inspiration, big time. And she was recently featured as a speaker at a TEDx talk.
Please welcome Amy Sweezey to Daily
Woo!
Flash. Hi, Mark. So
Hey,
glad to have you
guys.
on.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
As,
What an honor.
as AJ just mentioned, you were recently chosen from literally hundreds of applicants to actually share your story about reinvention at any age, which we're going to get to in a second, at TEDx Eustis. First off, let's talk about the experience. What was it like for you?
You know what? It was so cool. This was kind of a bucket list thing, right? You
Yeah.
see those TED Talks and then the TEDx Talks, which are more localized community events all over the country. And I'd seen many of them over the years, and I always thought, that would be kind of cool. And so I decided to apply since we have one right here in Eustis in Central Florida. It was quite a long process. You fill out an application. There were about 150 of us that applied for 2024, and I was one of the 15 that were chosen out of those 150. You don't put your name on it, so there's no playing favorites or anything. You just put down what's your one big idea and why you should be the one to share that, and then a whole committee determines who's going to be a part of the program.
I love that.
Well, it was a terrific response, and of course,
kidding.
Mitch was
I
there.
loved it. I was very inspired by you, too.
Mitch was there, and
Thank
you
you
also
for
had some
being
former
there.
coworkers there too. What was it like to be surrounded by so much support?
Oh, you know what? It was amazing. It's really the thing that I didn't realize is with a TEDx event, it's really not for the live audience. The live audience is there to support.
Yeah.
They're there to, kind of be a part of the event, but we're really performing for the cameras. So once I found that out, since my experience is actually in television, I felt much more comfortable knowing that if I messed up, I could stop and pause and start again, and they would just edit it later. So that part I think is something that a lot of people don't know, that you're really performing for the cameras and
Yeah.
you're not performing for the actual live audience.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, what terrific insight. Amy, you and I worked together here at the NBC affiliate in Orlando. You were a meteorologist for broadcast TV for 25 years. You could have easily stayed in it. Why did you decide it was time for a change?
You know, that was the whole topic of my TEDx talk, reinvention at any age. I loved my job. I loved what I did, but you know what? I was waking up at 2 a.m. every day and my kids were getting older and I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore. I was missing out on a lot of life. And I, kept telling myself, but this is the only thing I know how to do. I've never done anything else. What do I do? I can't do anything besides the weather on TV. And then when I took a step back and realized, wait a second, a lot of the skills that I have learned from doing the weather on television, those skills translate to other types of jobs and other things that I can do. So it took me a while to figure that out, but once I did, I hope I can inspire other people who are looking for a change to know that, look, you can reinvent yourself. Sometimes you choose to reinvent yourself and sometimes you have to reinvent yourself, but there's no age limit and there's no expiration date.
I was talking to some folks about your story, about about the TEDx and such, and it was very inspiring and really moving into a new direction. And I was giving examples like Warren Buffett really didn't make a lot of his money until later in his life and that sort of thing, and how people think, and I think we're at a time in our life now, in this age, it's easier now to change what Amy was talking about because we have so many more resources now. And speaking of resources, you started your own company out of all this called Social Weather LLC. Tell everybody about this. This is neat.
That's my umbrella company, and I do several different things. Of course, you guys mentioned already that I am an author. So several years ago, I did write some children's books about weather. I'm working on a new book now about myself that is ready to be edited. I think it's done, but we'll see what the editor says once she gets her hands on it. And I am working still on camera. I work for a company called Growing Bolder, doing some on-camera work and some writing. I'm a weather contributor for Carnival Cruise Line. I do some freelance work for TV stations around the country, including a station in Orlando. And I also am trying to kickstart my keynote speaking business. For many years, I did speak as a meteorologist, but mostly talked about hurricane season and climate change and things like that. And so now I'm branching out into other topics, things like how to reinvent yourself at any age.
Okay, Amy, I got to ask you this. I know you still talk about the weather, but how nice is it for you when we have a big storm coming to Orlando that you are not working 24/7, 7 days a week?
Yes, it is so nice. The first time I was home with my family during a hurricane, it was a very strange feeling. Like I could help get the extension cords for the generator and I could help gather up the candles and flashlights instead of being at work, 2 weeks before the storm even got here.
If you want to find out more about Amy, we got more details. Of course, you could, check out our website. She's on socials as well, Amy Sweezey, amysweezey.com. And we had you on because we miss seeing you in the morning.
It is true.
So that's why we had you on the show.
We get our Amy Sweezey fix today.
We got our Amy Sweezey fix. And, all right, when that book's done, you're coming on the show, right?
Oh, I would love to. Absolutely. Yes. And of course, when the TEDx talk is available, I will be posting it on all my social media so you can find it there.
Amy, thank you so much.
She's a boss lady.
Or after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
So glad to have you along here today. Each morning as you get through it, I was always told a belt is etiquette, meaning you should always have a belt on, no matter what. So I've always worn a belt. However, Vladimir Putin now is actually losing a belt.
Oh.
A black belt, an honorary black belt given to him by the World Taekwondo. He's the super guy. He can do anything.
He's like the Bruce Lee of politicians.
Yeah, in his eyes.
Yes.
Let's make sure we say that. This is the guy that does horseback, no shirt on, right?
Yes.
Anyway, they feel that because of obviously everything that he has done and who he is and that sort of thing, that he is not deserving of a black belt anymore. Okay. An honorary black belt, by the way.
Honorary, so he didn't earn it.
No, apparently
he was bestowed
upon him. He was bestowed a black belt, which I don't, do you tell people? He's like, leave me alone, man. I have an honorary black belt. It's kind of like now, it's kind of like Cosby telling us he's going to teach us something because he had an honorary doctorate degree.
Elvis thought he was a cop.
That's true.
So.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yes, that is a good point.
Okay, so they also said that any of their tournaments and that sort of thing, that they're not going to have any flags from Russia or Belarus, or how I normally say it in our meetings is Belarus, but Belarus,
yeah.
any kind of organization, they said no flags will be represented from this country from what they did to Ukraine.
Do you think then, I mean, we sort of go down this avenue, and then are we going to hold every single leader to this
That's a
same
good point.
sort of level of responsibility? North Korea, Kim Jong-un,
That's a very good
China,
point.
human rights violations in China. I mean, we could go down the list.
I think if you're not representative of when you're given an honorary anything, and if you're not representative of what that company feels, I think they have absolutely every right to take it away because they're giving it to you as an honorary. Hey, we think that you bestowed this. Not sure why black belt because that takes skill and everything, but
Exactly.
all right, whatever.
Cosby got a bunch of his doctorates taken
Well,
away.
that's what I was saying. Yeah, and he had a PhD, which is they don't just hand those out. So.
No. All right. Well,
Anyway,
there you
so
go.
sorry, Vladimir. I don't feel sorry for you though.
He's a former honorary black belt. A woman named Samantha recently went viral for sharing how her name has drawn negative attention in professional workplaces. Clearly, her parents did not think about an email address issue when she was born in the 90s. Take a look.
My name is Samantha Hart, and most companies use the email designation of first initial last name, meaning that my email would be Shart. And I've had 2 professional jobs so far, and at every single workplace, this has been the email company structure. And at every single workplace, I have received an email from HR the week before I start, letting me know that my name does not exactly fit the company email structure as they would intend. And would I mind if they gave me a different structure for my email? To which I always say, I don't want an email that says Shart.
I don't blame her. Samantha says she's had 2 professional jobs, as she mentioned there, so far, and they've both had that email structure, leading HR to reach out to her on both occasions, and she was able to rectify the whole situation.
Good for her, though.
Yeah.
I mean, and, that's the name you're given.
She wouldn't be able to get a license plate with that on it either, I bet.
That's a good point.
That would get flagged.
Yeah, very true.
And, wow, again, this whole Mitch, think before you say stuff.
Yes.
And I'll just...
There are a list of companies that don't translate well when you look at the title and the email address.
Lots,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind. There's an Australian heiress. She's given away her $27 million fortune, and she wants the public to decide where it goes. She's 31 years old. Her name is Marlene Egelhorn, and she inherited the fortune from her grandmama. However, she doesn't want it. She's setting up plans to give it away by placing it in the hands of the, quote, Good Council for Redistribution. 10,000 people in Austria, randomly selected, sent invitations to apply for the membership. A research institute now will narrow down the applicants to 50. Engelhorn says that she inherited the fortune without having done anything for it, and the state doesn't even want to tax it. She wants to extend that generosity to those working full-time jobs and struggling to make ends meet. Lots of good karma heading her way. I think, it is something that even very successful rich people say, I'm not giving any money to my kids. I think Shaq said that, didn't he?
Shaq
Yes,
said that. He's
yeah.
like, they got enough to be comfortable and that's it. But all the billionaires have said that too.
Yeah, and because they go, you know what? I worked hard. And we were talking about lottery winners. If you don't respect it and work hard for it, you're gonna blow through it. So
Yeah,
keep
and
that
you
in mind.
see that generational wealth. Once it's made, sometimes the next generation completely blows it.
Indeed. Don't blow it and not come back. We want you here right after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Here's Fabian Marcano with this week's The Beat.
I'm back, baby, and so is Usher. Super Bowl turned to Usher Bowl this year. All the celebrities came out to watch the big game, and so was Jay-Z. He was back in dad mode at the Super Bowl. He brought his girls Blue Ivy and Rumi, and of course, Mama Beyonce was there looking incredible as always. Jay-Z, being the ultimate girl dad, even recreated Blue Ivy's 2020 Super Bowl picture. And I mean, it looks gorgeous, I think. I mean, look at how cute that looks. Aw. Other superstars were in attendance in Vegas, like LeBron James, Elon Musk with his son, Travis Scott, Lady Gaga, Kim K, Justin and Hailey Bieber, and many more. Now that I mentioned the Biebs, I should probably also speak on the speculation there was with him performing alongside Usher. Sadly, that did not happen, and I can assure you Bieber fans expressed their disappointment all over social media. Even I was kind of disappointed. Maybe next time, guys. let's get into this Usher spectacle in Las Vegas, baby. Usher started off the party with a mix of Caught Up and You Don't Have to Call. His first outfit was an all-cream Dolce & Gabbana ensemble, which featured a coat over a crop jacket with a brooch, both of which he took off to reveal a bedazzled top. For this look, Usher also wore matching gloves, one of which he took off in apparent nod to the Michael Jackson King of Pop. We then got a huge surprise from Alicia Keys singing two fanfare winning Kiss, Cue the Kiss, Cue the Kiss. But since there is attendance from around the world in these occasions, Beyonce is not gonna let that slip without announcing a brand new album, Renaissance Act 2. Queen Bee is giving fans exactly what they've been waiting for. She's blessed us with 2 new songs before the Super Bowl, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. Beyonce also appeared in a Verizon ad, and that's the way she kind of does it. She started off on a lemonade stand, then she goes to the bar Bay, also becomes the Beyonce president of the United States. But all this to break the signal of Verizon, it didn't work until she drops 2 amazing songs just for us to have an amazing night. And people frantically searching for the corners on the internet until the Instagram post appeared minutes later. It's long been rumored that the second act of Renaissance could be a country music album, and those rumors were reignited by when Beyonce wore a cowboy hat to the Grammys. Plus, she's from Houston, Texas. I'm Fabian Maricano. You just felt the beat, so be sure to check us out. For more information, Daily Flash Latino, and head to our website, dailyflashlatino.com, to check your local listings and times. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned with us.
Hey, welcome back. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. Let's turn to your health. We got some information that actually could save your life.
A new survey reveals that 70% of Americans are unaware of peripheral artery disease, PAD, leaving millions at risk of amputation.
PAD often worsens over time. Knowing the risk factors and common symptoms can prevent amputations and even save lives. When it comes to risk factors, know the top 3 for PAD: diabetes, high blood pressure, and smoking. The Get a Pulse on PAD awareness campaign encourages people to kick off a conversation with their doctor.
To learn more, visit padpulse.org.
Dental disease affects nearly 80% of adult dogs and 70% of cats during their lifetime. With February being Pet Dental Health Month, it is the perfect opportunity to talk about dental hygiene for our furry friends. Here's the veterinarian for Wellness Whimsies, Dr. Danielle Bernal.
Dental disease is the #1 health issue impacting our pets, with 70% of adult cats and 80% of adult dogs having some kind of dental disease. Now, the good news here is that pet parents can do a lot to prevent that being the case for their pet. Now, if the thought of brushing your dog or cat's teeth is a little daunting, this is where I encourage some great dental treat alternatives. For dogs, a great one is a dental chew. A product like Whimsies is all natural and scientifically proven to support their dental health. And for cats, there's great new innovation in the case of a new dental cat treat that's porous in texture and works like a toothbrush to clean their teeth. With either of these Whimsies scientifically proven products, you know that you're going to have a product that supports the 4 areas that vets check most: plaque, tartar, fresh breath, and of course, healthy gums. And that way you're going to make sure that your pet has great dental health, but also a life of well-being. To find out more information, check out whimsies.com.
Are you still working on that fitness resolution? Well, we have national lead trainer for Planet Fitness, Teddy Savage. He's got some inspiration to keep you motivated. Hey there, Teddy.
Thanks for having me. Are you finding it hard to get into a fitness mindset, or are you feeling like the New Year's resolution season ended in January? Well, here's the thing. I'm here to tell you that now is the perfect time. Whether you're just getting jump-started into your routine or you're getting reconnected into your fitness journey. And we're all kind of guilty of pushing exercise down on our list of priorities, whether it be because we were lacking the energy or because gym memberships are a little bit too expensive. Well, Planet Fitness is here to offer an affordable option that will allow you to break a sweat without having to break the bank. And with over 2,500 plus locations, there's bound to be one close by, making fitness more convenient now than it ever has been before. And I'm a certified trainer, so I've got a couple of tips to get anybody started. First things first, start small. Get rid of that whole go hard or go home mentality. Just 10 to 12 minutes every other day can have profound benefits, and you can progress from there. Next, don't worry about what anybody else says. Starting a fitness journey can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. You want to go into an environment that's non-intimidating, where you belong no matter your fitness level, and it's right here in Planet Fitness's judgment-free zone. And then lastly, and most importantly, make fitness fun. Shake outside the boundaries, color outside the lines, and make it a choice rather than a chore. So I want you to join me right here at Planet Fitness for a high-quality gym experience that has all of the equipment you need, free fitness classes, and access to the Black Card Spa area that allows you to have hydro massage beds, massage chairs, and you can bring a friend with you as many times as you would like. New members can join right now for just $1 down and no commitment until February the 16th. I can't wait for you to come on in and make 2024 your time to shine. For more information, go to planetfitness.com.
While parents go to great lengths to protect their children and childproof their homes, they might not realize about the hidden dangers of lithium coin batteries that lurk throughout the home. Emergency medicine physician Dr. Joe Whittington joins us with information that may save your child's life. Hi there, doctor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Lithium coin batteries are those flat, round batteries about the size of a nickel that can get stuck in a child's throat if they're accidentally swallowed. They're found in flameless candles, car key fobs, small remote controls, thermometers, and many other items around the house. Yet many parents are unaware of the dangers associated with accidental ingestion. Young children are curious by nature, and part of their exploration of the world around them involves placing objects in their mouths. This is particularly dangerous with lithium coin batteries because if accidentally swallowed, they can burn through the surrounding tissue of the esophagus in just 2 hours, causing a lot of harm. Duracell is the only battery brand that features a non-toxic bitter coating that discourages accidental swallowing. And Duracell's lithium coin batteries with bitter coating have a bitter taste icon and child-secure packaging that's nearly impossible to open without scissors, making sure that little hands and little mouths cannot access them. Duracell is on a mission to close the educational gap and remind parents that when it comes to lithium coin batteries, bitter is better. And parents should choose Duracell's lithium coin batteries with bitter coating for their powered devices. There are several things that parents can do to help keep their kids safer from accidental battery ingestion. First, find which devices in the home are powered by lithium coin batteries and store them out of reach of children. Next, inspect those devices for any that may not have a screw covering the battery compartment and seal them with tape for an added layer of protection. Remove any expired batteries and store them out of reach of children until they can be recycled properly. And if you suspect your child has ingested a lithium coin battery, take them to the emergency department immediately. If you can't drive, call 911 for help. Just look out for Duracell's iconic copper and black packaging at walmart.com and Walmart stores nationwide. For more information, go to duracell.com/bitterisbetter for safety resources.
We often hear that true beauty radiates from within. And for someone like Sunny Lee, the manifestation of this statement goes beyond the dazzling medals she's earned on the Olympic stage. As a 3-time Olympic medalist, today she graciously joins us to share insights into her holistic approach to health, beauty, and wellness. Welcome, Sunny.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Training is going really well. I had a competition about a month ago, and now we're just trying to build up from that, stay more consistent, add new skills in my routine, and just build up the difficulty, because I think if I'm able to get my difficulty and stamina up, I think the rest of the year will be really well. It's important to make time for yourself and just find time to do things that you really love that make you feel good about yourself. I do a lot of self-care, so I'm constantly doing things like whether it's shopping, self-care day, face masks, taking care of your skin and your hair. I love, obviously, my hair is super long, super healthy. I try not to wash it as much. I think that's a really pro tip. I've been loving the Batiste Sweat and Touch Dry Shampoo. The sweat activated shampoo, if you spray it in your hair while you're sweating and just floof up your hair, it looks like you just washed your hair, and it works for up to 24 hours. It reactivates when you sweat, and it keeps you fresh all day. And same with the Touch Activated. They're just so amazing, and it's something that I actually use every single day. So take care of yourself. It's super important. I try to eat as healthy as possible, but also just doing things that I love and trying not to limit myself to too many things, because like I said, I've been doing a lot. So doing things that help my mental health and physical health have been super important to me.
Thanks for all that great info. We'll have it on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time for us to take a look at the lifestyles of the rich and famous as we dive into celebrity real estate.
Okay, let's start with fashion designer Michael Kors. Despite living the jet set life, he's actually a homebody, Mitch. Yeah, believe it or not. His New York City apartment recently hit the market, and the listing describes it as a 2-bedroom wrapped in a lush terrace with views of the World Trade Center, the Hudson River, and the skyline in every direction. Once you step off the elevator, there's a long hall filled with photography that leads to the bedrooms. The master includes a spacious closet with custom oak cabinetry, and the master bath features a marble tub in front of a picture window.
I would think that it would be in Colorado because if
Of course.
So I think west of Colorado is probably Kors.
Yeah.
All right. Former Emmy winner, talk show host Sally Jesse Raphael has decided to part ways with her longtime country estate in New York's historic Dutchess County. 25 acres spreads about 70 miles north of Midtown Manhattan. Is available now for $6.5 million. Sally Jesse, famous for her wit and those bright red sunglasses, she's changed out for those. She actually bought that property back in '97, about $1 million. The property, known as Elmwood Farm, includes 2 caretaker homes, a carriage house, 2 chauffeur quarters, and a yoga studio. The main house is about 15,000 square feet with 17 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms, plus 4 more powder rooms. That's a lot of talk shows. There's also 10 fireplaces across the mansion's 43 rooms.
Did she do that well? My goodness.
That's what I was thinking.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her also.
I know she bought it with her husband, so I'm sure combined, maybe their income had plenty to do with it. Well, Curb Your Enthusiasm co-creator and star Larry David is bidding adieu to his French Normandy-inspired cottage in Montecito, California. It is listed for $7.5 million. The 2,900 square foot home has 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms. It's located in the heart of Montecito's Hedgerow neighborhood. The 1929 French Normandy-style home has lush gardens and is full of Euro charm on the inside. And of course, this is the last season for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
All right, and if you watch Curb, you know that every season he moves into a new house. That's kind of a joke, like a running joke. He's in Atlanta this season, and he has an Airbnb with Jeff and Susie, so all kinds of stuff. And they're going after the voting. He gives water to Leon's mom while she was voting, and so they throw him in jail. Anyway, just watch it. It's a great show. And watch our show tomorrow. It's just 23 hours away.
That's right. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. Be good, everybody.
Bye-bye.